Hello, this is Dean Phoenix with the next episode in my 1999 mode walkthrough for Bioshock Infinite. We are on episode 12, trying to get the scavenger hunt achievement where we don't buy anything from the dollar bill machines. So we're picking up here after we've just finished Lady Comstock in the last episode, done all of those, and now we're trying to make our way to the Comstock house, and you get rudely interrupted by the unassailable Songbird. So this part of the game is probably my least favourite part, I'll not lie. It's difficult because you have limited weapons and the enemies are mainly the Boys of Silence, with a couple of guards scattered in a couple of turrets. The Boys of Silence are very irritating. So you need to make sure that you've got the right sort of weapons going into this. I would recommend the shotgun, and I also took the volley gun, and I will show you why. So, no sin evades his gaze. These are the Boys of Silence, and what happens with them is when you get close enough they will trigger a bunch of melee enemies, these sort of patients, I suppose you would call them, to attack you. So there's the Boy of Silence. You can see the salts that I just had a look at, and this is one of the key tricks that I like to use for this bit. So the only weapon available to pick up here is the pistol, which sucks, but if you just got the Spectral, what's the word? It's called the Spectral Sidekick. There it is. Spectral Sidekick. So, if you're going to get Spectral Sidekick, you can equip that in your pants slot, and what that does is, when you swap a weapon, it hovers there and automatically shoots. And the amazing thing about this piece of gear is it doesn't use up any of the ammo that's in the gun, weirdly. So, here, if I have the volley gun and then I drop the pistol, the volley gun will stay there, and it's not just a couple of seconds, it's quite a little while. It's like 10 to 15 seconds or so. So you'll see what I do here is that I have the shotgun, which is you know, pretty decently generous for ammo. You can see the pistol's randomly shooting at somebody up there, but you can basically charge towards the Boy of Silence. You have to fight this one, so there's no way past it otherwise. And then you can run over to it, and you can swap the volley gun for the pistol. So the pistol is just pretty useless, and you use up some of that ammo if you wish, but then you have Blood to Salt as the shirt still, and you can see that if you incapacitate them with fucking Bronco or Crows or anything like that, the actual volley gun stays there for ages, and then you can just switch it when it gets when it comes to that, when the Spectral Sidekick wears off. You can just switch it again. So you drop the pistol and then you pick the pistol up again, and it swaps it for the volley gun, and you can see that it just sort of rains devastation on them. And whilst it does those kills for you, it's also not using up your volley ammo. You can see that I still have just as much as when I dropped the gun. But it also gets you kills from Blood to Salt, saves you the ammo of the weapons that you do have picked up, and things like that. So it's really useful in that respect. So good little tip to remember. So this area also has a health pack and salts, and then you can carry on from there. So I'm just going to quickly skip over this. If the Boys of Silence view goes yellow like it does there, that's when they're on the verge of spotting you. When you come to this bit, if you need the cinetoscopes, then you can come around to the left and get that. Otherwise you can just avoid this one and go right, go straight around to the right hand side, avoid the Boy of Silence gaze. If it goes yellow, just duck behind one of these pillars. And then when he's not looking, you get used to his pattern, you can just run past him there. So once you're safely past him, if he sees you on this bit, you can crouch down, but there's nothing to pick up there, so nothing to worry about. There's a hand cannon, a couple of other things, but nothing crucial. And then we've got the next Boy of Silence here. So again, you can very easily just sneak past him if you wish. But for myself, I like to trigger and get rid of this one, because using that same setup with the pistol that you can pick up here, you can swap that for a volley gun, and you can use possession and whatever else, whatever salts you want. You've got return to sender at this point as well, and charge. You can use the Spectral Sidekick thing if you wish as well. I prefer to take them out just because for me, I prefer being able to just run backwards and forwards through this area without having to worry about triggering the Boy of Silence every time. And if you have this set up with Blood to Salt and using either Brittle Skinned or the Spectral Sidekick, it doesn't tend to be that bad. So you can take that one out if you wish, and Blood to Salt will normally mean that you end up with quite a lot of salts at the end of it anyway. So if you carry on past that room, you see that there's 2 turrets there, and you can. I actually take a ton of health here because it's difficult to see these guys because it's such a bland environment, and they have such. They're bland for everything. So you can possess the turrets. They help you out a little bit. Make sure that you are using Return to Sender. I recommended getting the Send for Less upgrade for that, so hopefully you got that before we came into the Comstock House. There is also a crow. You can take him out with everything like you would normally there, and he at least gives you some pretty good pickups. And just be wary of the enemies that have hand cannons. So you can, if you have Undertow particularly, get rid of them a little bit easier like that. But just bear in mind that they are a pain in the neck. You can grab the hand cannon off them though, and that is at least one of the sources of ammo in this area, because a lot of the time it's going to be quite difficult otherwise. So after you finish that, you carry on. There's a couple of other kinetoscopes to get as well, if you're going for the achievements, and then there is a shotgun here, and same thing again, you can use the shotgun and Spectral Sidekick if you wish, or whatever weapon that you want to have hover for you. And it can be quite useful with these bunch of enemies, because this Boys of Silence here is a pain in the neck, because he's guarding a unique piece of gear, which is Health Assaults. I've never actually used it, but might as well grab it. It could be useful in a pinch, I suppose. So worth triggering him just to do that. So again, I'm just going to leave the hand cannon there, use the Spectral Sidekick, and the Boy of Silence will trigger here. Send all the enemies at you. He actually glitches out here weirdly, I think, if I remember correctly, watching this footage back. But yeah, so he sort of glitched out there, and allowed me to grab the Health Assaults, which is there, and then you'll see very shortly they all get triggered anyway, which is really nice. So yeah, then they all get triggered afterwards. So it actually sort of messes up my use of the Spectral Sidekick anyway, because the gun's all the way over the other side now. But again, use things like Overkill, because they're all grouped together. If you're not using Spectral Sidekick, use Brittle Skinned, and use things like Crows and Bucking Bronco to incapacitate them. And you've always got Charge if you have Charge Aid to be able to recharge your shield and get the invincibility from that for a couple of seconds. So again, you can see with Blood to Salt, even though I used Salt quite liberally there, it was okay. Now Rising Bloodlust, that's another one of the unique pieces of gear, and that's really good for each successive kill, up to 5 you start glowing and your weapon starts glowing, and you do more damage. That can be very useful. It's one of the best hats in the game, so make sure you grab that as well. And then we have this bit with, if you've played the game before, probably I'm sure you remember the infamous jump scare. So just have a quick scout around before you pull the lever here and things. Could have used Sheltered Life on that snack there if you wanted, so just bear that in mind. But you have this little jump scare with the Boy of Silence who's right in front of you as you turn around. Scared the hell out of me the first time I played. And then you have a bunch of people coming at you as well. So again, there's a pistol to pick up, and you can sort of gradually move it and use Spectral Sidekick if you wish, but the rest of the time you can just use your normal salts and whatever ammo you've got for the weapons. I would, for this bit, probably try and hold off using your volley gun ammo if at all possible, and just keep it to things like there's a shotgun downstairs, so you could use the shotgun instead, and that is because it's difficult in this area to get volley gun ammo back unless you're using the scavenger vest or something like that. So just try and use your vigors and keep the volley gun on you if you can, but use the shotgun or the hand cannon or something else. I would imagine that everybody has the shotgun upgraded really, because that can be extremely useful. So there's Scavenger's Vest, which is one of the gear pieces for the shirt, so you could try and use that to get some health back if you wanted. It's the same chance as blood to salt, so it's a 40% chance, so could be worth doing if you I wanted to do that. I haven't used the gear extensively, so I can't remember if you actually have to kill them with the gun or not, but it can be worth trying to get a bit of volley gun ammo back. And the reason for that is that after you finish that section of Comstock House, you run into Elizabeth afterwards with this incredibly cool scene of the future being, I think, 1984, because it says it on the billboard in the back. But you have this bit, and then you come back to the present day to try and rescue Elizabeth as she is in our time. I say our time, 1912. So whatever weapons you take through, there's quite limited weapons to pick up, and there's a limited number of assault pickups as well. So it's a good idea if you can try and keep a bit of volley gun ammo if that's your main weapon, like it was for myself, because that's a really powerful gun and weapon, and it's really useful. Otherwise you'd want the shotgun. The shotgun's very useful for this next point because there's some really tough shotgun soldiers. They're more akin to the beasts, you know, the enemies that have the volley gun or the hailfire, in terms of the damage they take. So when you come to be doing this bit, just bear in mind that possession with possession for less can be extremely useful, not only for distracting the enemies who aren't possessed, but also because the enemies that you're possessing are not only very tough, but they'll also kill themselves after possession runs out. So it's one of the more effective ways of taking them out as well, as you'll see when we do these next parts of combat in the next episode. So this takes us back to the 1912, we say the sort of present day, and as you can see there, I've got the volley gun with a decent amount of ammo, and then you can pick up the shotgun, and we will cover this in the next episode. So thank you very much for watching, and we will pick it up here as we come into this fairly difficult encounter. But if you found that useful, please like, comment and subscribe, and you can see the rest of the walkthrough and everything else, and I will see you next time. Thank you for watching.